Happy Wednesday morning to you.
Bing,
How are y'all doing? How in the hell are you?
Got a sassy queen up in here.
Up there, am I right, Sass Queen? I got nothing. How are you? We got people coming in. Chit. We got Missy up in here. Good morning, Missy.
Hi, Missy. I'll miss you, Missy.
Happy Wednesday morning, everybody. 2 streams in a row, said Jazz. Hell yeah, buddy.
Yeah, baby.
How was the rest of your evening, pal? Guess what day it is? Mike.
That's the best.
I got a lot of Mike's after that, and I didn't mind it because that is a hilarious commercial.
Yes, it is.
Mike. Guess what day it is? Someday.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Geico. Classics.
I mean, that's what
Quicksand up in here. What up, Quicksand?
Quickest of all the sands.
So much faster than lightning sand, really. Rest of the evening was I went to bed.
That's fair.
East Coast, Best Coast.
I mean, I don't know about that. Why would you lie to yourself?
I mean, there are certain folks that we know that are part of Team Bing Bong that make the East Coast better than it could possibly be.
But here's
without y'all in it.
They all could move to the West Coast and be better versions of themselves.
I barely accept the East Coast as a concept.
It's not even a country.
It isn't.
I've been saying it.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid to say it. I've been saying it.
Probably barely even a county.
Boop, boop.
Get me a library job and I'm there.
Yeah, baby.
Oh gosh, we got libraries.
We got libraries in LA, man.
There's a library around the corner. East Coast less or more real than Canada. Ooh.
It's more real than Canada. It's still in America. I mean, the East Coast of Canada is the least real thing on the planet, though.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
Like Roddy says, he lives in Prince Edward Isle. False.
It's like there is only Vancouver.
He lives in Michigan.
It's the only town. I'm a New York. Forgot about it. Shades fan up in here.
Forget about. What's up, Shades fan?
We like to poke fun. We're very Californian.
It is,
but
true.
Joke's on us. None of us can afford to live here, and yet here we are. A lot of you folks on the East Coast deal with the same, though.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people on the East Coast deal with the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that's how it goes. Magma Flamingo in here. Hello, how are you doing today? We're doing good. How are you?
What's up? What's that Sleaford life like, dude?
Yeah, how's weather getting over there? Is it getting nice yet? Is it bad? Terrible?
It's terrible.
Great?
Of course, dude. It's Sleaford.
Sleaford sounds like a rainy place, doesn't it?
It does sound like a rainy place.
Sounds like it's wet.
I'm not gonna lie, Dan. Sleaford sounds wet.
Sounds wet. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like it sounds like there's weather there. Y'all gonna be playing Mind MGMT Sashaners 789. Missy has brought that game up. It's on Tabletopia, so I really want to give it a go just because Missy's like, people are sleeping on this game, but I have no idea
what the heck it is.
What it is other than the cover's cool.
I have not
Sell me on it.
That is more than even I know.
I'm down, and we have access to it because we could play it, so
we can play about it.
My name was supposed to be Josh, but I came out. My mom said it looked like a California Casey.
Interesting.
So that's how I got my name. I like
my name
Casey. That's cool. I like that.
My name was supposed to be Chris. I was supposed to be Christopher. Yeah, and then when I was born, like they had planned on me being Christopher when I was a boy, because both of us, they didn't know what we were until they got born. They're like, we want the surprise, which I'm like, respect.
Respect.
And they were gonna name me Christopher. They're like, if it's a boy, it's Christopher. It's a boy, it's definitely Christopher. And then I came out, and they're both just like, he's not a Christopher. He's more douchey than that. Let's name Nick.
Let's go more common.
And then they decided to name after Santa Claus, which is
awesome.
It's not.
You named
awesome.
after Saint
It's
Nick,
not
dude.
Awesome,
that's super cool.
It's not.
It's
cool,
fantastic.
Dude. I'd rather have your thing, Mike, just because Mike.
I mean,
that's our uncle's middle name. I think that's as far as they got in terms of.
That's the most reason they gave.
Yeah.
You could be a Chris though. You would never be a Christopher, but you could be a Chris.
I could be a Chris. I agree. I'm more of a Nick than a Chris. But like, I thought it was interesting. They're just came out and they were just like, not a Chris, and I was like, I look like an alien. Like, they should have named me Goreflap.
They should have.
I mean, I did. Let's be honest. Mike did name me Goreflap.
I call him Nick for the first 5 years of his life. I mean, we did the same thing with like the dogs, right? We're like, well, it might be this, We're like, we think it's gonna be Mary and Pippin, but you gotta like look. You gotta look
at their beautiful faces.
We looked at them. We said like, we thought about it for a while when we had them, and then we got there. So boom.
Wow.
Well, that's the journey.
Just in case you
Saskman says, I think Paula and Matthew are playing it today. Well, then now I don't want to play.
I don't play any they play. I
It's
just
a
like
Matthew and
both
Paula
those
thing.
people.
Barfaroo. Everyone should watch that stream, by the way.
Everyone watch that stream. It's right after this stream.
Watch this right after this.
We lead into them. We are their Carson Daly. We're whoever came before
Daly?
Carson Daly.
Yeah, Seth Meyers maybe. I don't know.
No, Seth Meyers is way after Carson Daly. Carson Daly ain't done the
I'm
Late
talking
Late
about,
Show.
I'm talking about in the timeline when Carson was on. Who led into Carson Daly?
I was saying,
That's who we'd be.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, I don't know who it is. It's not Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers only done the late whatever show he does for like a couple of years.
It's probably Jimmy Fallon then. To be
Carson
honest.
Daly ain't done nothing.
That means we're Jimmy Fallon. You okay with that? I'm okay with that. I feel like you're not okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I know.
We are the Jimmy Fallon of board games, if anything.
Huh?
We're the Jimmy Fallon.
We
of board
are
games.
not the Jimmy Fallon. I will quit if we're the Jimmy Fallon of board games.
I'm preparing
I think
for
we're the
a
Conan
reality.
of board games. We're too weird. Jimmy Fallon is super. We're way too divisive to be Jimmy Fallon. I mean, Jimmy Fallon's
the most divisive
Jimmy
dude ever.
Fallon, but Jimmy Fallon is divisive because he's
believe me.
fake. In the
Believe
way
me.
he's like,
The thing
no matter
is,
who does what.
I've made this argument before. I really don't think he is. I just think he really is.
That's possible. He
that
comes
kind
across
of
that
guy.
way. See, I feel like we come across much
Yeah.
more as the Conan. We're just super weird.
Dude, believe me, I will take that.
I'll take
Jimmy
Conan
Fallon
any
for
day.
sure.
I'm a huge.
Conan's amazing.
So Lennon, Fallon, Daly. Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I'm fine with
Yeah,
Jimmy Fallon.
that's
I don't hate Jimmy Fallon. I just don't like it. I don't like him as a late night host. Personally.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair.
Except for his music stuff. Because he's a really good musician. His music stuff, like his oh gosh, I forgot his name. Neil Young. I was like, Neil Diamond, not Neil Diamond. Neil Young. His Neil Young stuff is so freaking good. Like I love all his music stuff. It's just I don't like his interviews very much. That's
he does really good, like Bruce Springsteen stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, it's funny. It's like I don't know many people who watch for like the normal straight up interviews.
Yeah.
And stuff.
And
I
I
don't think that's what he tries to
they're
do.
playing.
I mean, the thing, okay, like without like defending the man and stuff, it's like whether or not it's your thing. Like I appreciate that he does
something
the thing
different.
he does. He
Yeah,
plays
he
games
does.
and he's like keeps it really silly and stuff. I'm like, yeah, it might
That
not
is
be to
very
everyone's
true.
taste, but
That
I'm
is
like,
very true.
I don't fault.
And again, I don't hate him. I just don't particularly
not
like him as
your
a late night host.
cuppa. He's SNL funny, not interview strong.
Yeah, and that's fine. And
He
honestly, I
means it,
like
yeah.
everything he does outside of like the interviews and stuff. I actually like decent, especially his music stuff. I think he's really, really good.
Paula and her band Matthew Judah like that. I like that.
Pretty much,
so
yeah.
Paula and her psychic. So scroll up a little bit because there's Missy elaborated on Mind MGMT.
Okay, sorry.
So Mind MGMT is it's based on a spy type psychic powers comic. Oh, hang on. So in the game, one person plays Mind MGMT, and the other players are the characters trying to bring them down. The other characters also have psychic abilities. Cool. So one versus all situation.
Whoa,
That's interesting.
Someone is sending us it's like a 2-player social deduction game where it's like something that's like a person interrogating a person trying to figure out if they're a robot, and it's like 10 minutes or something like that. But one of our patrons hit us up and was just like, hey, this game's really weird, but it's not much. It's like really fun and weird, but I don't really have a chance to play. But I think you two would really like to play it on stream. You want me to send you? I was like, yeah. So basically, it's one person interviewing the other person trying to figure out if they're a robot or not, or something like that. I was like, what an interesting. So Conan's great. You're definitely Conan. Good. I'm super down to be the Conan of board games. I freaking love Conan.
Best.
Inhuman Conditions. Is that what it is?
Inhuman Conditions. Okay. Chase Van says, honestly, I'm let down by most late night talk shows. Feels like they went super political, but it could be recency bias. I'm fine with political humor, but too much is a buzzkill.
I think it's just...
I mean, it's a product of the fact that you have Stephen Colbert and like Seth Meyers and stuff.
Yeah, who
are
both
hosts,
did like that
that's
stuff.
what they did. I love late night for that reason, but it all comes down to like what you're trying to watch and see out of your late night. But it's like, I think it's just a product of what those people did prior to their job, their current job.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially with like Stephen
but yeah,
Colbert,
it's
like his whole thing was political satire, so it's like leaning into what you know. Although now he can just be Stephen Colbert. But
But so right now he's Stephen Colbert, not Stephen.
I think
Colbert.
Jon Stewart changed the landscape big time.
Oh yeah, for
Big
sure.
time.
Jon Stewart's still the.
We made that like a super viable thing. I mean, there's a lot of people, especially during the Jon Stewart heyday, and I love Trevor Noah as well.
Yeah,
who like would get their news from the Daily Show. That became like the news source for them because they felt like they could trust it and stuff like that. And it's very funny and like
I think he won the most trusted Justin won the most trusted news anchor, and not like a joke one. Like he won the most trusted news anchor.
Yeah. So it's like once that happens, and it clears.
I'm starting because I got a big mini to paint, so I'm gonna try.
Clears
and
the
do it all
path
day.
for more. You know, I mean that's why Stephen Colbert was able to come up. He started off as a correspondent Daily Show, got his own show, and you know.
Yeah.
It's good, funny writing and stuff. So Nick is doing Lefty. Is that Mini's name?
Lefty,
so
this butt right here.
Oh yeah, we can show like.
Yeah,
little,
just in case you wanted a
references.
reference, I brought it out.
And this is Rover, who I'm doing this little doggo here, who's like a little picks up bones and stuff. So let's see.
So you can paint whatever you got, just in case you wanted the.
I'm gonna keep a little bit close to.
I'm gonna keep this one
the
more
reference.
or less.
I absolutely did not with
Gizmo, and I'm okay with it.
But yeah, I don't know. So this one's got a nice little bandana, little robotic like cogs and legs and feetsies and stuff. He's got this like little visor thing, which I'm gonna kind of do that bluish. So I'm trying to think of where to start with this guy.
That's the thing. I'm starting with his face because it's yellow, so I was like, I'm just gonna do that because I always like to undercoat my yellow with something, just because yellow is so darn transparent that it's even just over white, it's hard to get it go down smooth. But I feel like it goes down smoother over a slightly kind of like darker yellow like this. So this one doesn't have to go down particularly smooth because it's just going to get covered up. But
I want like a. What do you think? Do you think like Celestra?
yes,
Gray
Slivers. There will
for
be.
like a-
We'll ask you today. It wasn't super pressing. It's about our external hard drive.
Yeah,
But
it
thank you
seems
for
to be
reminding us.
not
We can
talking to our computer.
get it to connect.
It says it's offline, but it's definitely there. But definitely like whatever last backups we did are not showing up and stuff. So
Or any backups at all. There's nothing on it. It's very confusing.
weird.
Oh,
But yeah, so anyway, I'm thinking like I want to do like a light kind of gray silver.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of
We got a
like
decent amount of grays. I keep a lot of grays around.
yeah. So I'm thinking like the Celestra gray maybe.
Okay, it's got a nice blue to it.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, and then gonna go in blue like accents and things, blues and reds.
Cool.
We'll try that. We'll see. External hard drive goes outside the computer. You're welcome. God,
Boom,
I had
nailed
just-
it.
I opened up the side, just threw it in there, and then shut it.
It didn't do anything. It still registered that it was
I don't
there.
care, computers, man. What's the deal? I mean, they're plugged in. They're just not talking to each other. They're just doing one of these.
So they kind of are. It's
like,
weird.
It says, yeah, common issue.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Ugh.
It's annoying.
Is your computer on? No. Well, I actually got problems.
Because we thought, we were like, I think we filmed this already. Let's double check. It would be on the external hard drive. And then we couldn't get to that. So we're like, well, we're just going to film it again. So we ended up having to do the whole thing again. If we had done it before. We're not even sure if we had done it before. But
We'll never know. But it's weird because I've gone in there before and I've seen the backed up files and even clicked in there because I was like very much like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. We have a external hard drive for the folks to do backups and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if this is right. And I went in and saw like, oh yeah, our board game files are in there and stuff. Cool. So at one point it's been in there. But no, it's not. The files are inside the computer.
they're in the computer. It's so simple.
Got it.
So good.
It's so simple. The first brushstroke's the hardest.
So we're painting up these, finishing up these last two. Then we're going to play Quirky Circuits again on Monday. Except for this time we're going to be playing with Rover, who Mikey is playing, and then Lefty, who I'm painting. If you were there on Monday, it was super, super fun playing Quirky Circuits. It's a really fun, weird game.
You were.
And we did okay. We did okay. Not great. We
Every
did okay.
time we did one, I think we won 2 out of 3 games, but the victories were very chaotic still.
Yes, they were.
I
Very,
wanna
oh
say-
my gosh.
I want to say we mastered
The last one particularly was very difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the last part here is this. And I am actually following the paint scheme. I usually don't. I usually just paint stuff however I want, but sometimes I follow. I keep on twerking. How's everyone's morning going? How's everyone's week going? Hump day, right? I threw a bunch of water in my PC, figured the heat would let my PC connect to the cloud. No, the device is not making sound when we plug it in back bacon.
That's funny. Say again.
Jab, you were missing something. Come poop or talk.
Yeah, Jab. Anyone, all of you.
Once in the 90s, I taught Windows 95 computer classes to people, many of them elderly who were using a computer for the first time. We'll wait to continue until reading. What? Did we buy the Cone of Shame? I don't think we have bought the Cone of Shame yet. Did you buy the Cone of Shame?
No, but I am headed to Petco today.
Oh, then buy a Cone of Shame, baby.
Or PetSmart, rather.
Oh, girl needs it. That cone is not big enough.
Nope.
All right, so that's my base coat for that one. I wanted to whack that on real quick. Just to get the base coat down. And then the rest of him is kind of like a really light blue. I'm thinking about using Fenrisian Gray here, which is like a really light blue. As opposed to using metallics, I kind of want like... I'm trying to think like what I want to actually make metallic on him. I mean, because I really could just paint this whole dude like silver, more or less. I think I'll make his whole base here metallic. But I think I'm going to make all these panels here maybe like this kind of light gray. And then in between all of these parts on here are like a bright blue. So I'll probably make that Lothern blue, which is my favorite blue to use.
Sliver says, one lady in this class got there 15-20 minutes before class started as she was struggling and embarrassed and wanted to ask a few questions prior to class starting. We may continue.
I feel like there's a pun coming. God, I feel like there's a pun coming. And here's the thing. If
this thing ends with, and that lady was your mom. I'm like, you son of a... Oh, you got me. God, you always did it. He did it. He said he wouldn't do it, but he did it. Sometimes when we touch... the honesty...
Other than the unfortunate adventures of groceries, the week hasn't been bad. Well, I'm glad, yeah. Cleaned off the coffee maker today, did the dishes too. That's all right, Wizzy. What's going on, Paula?
What are you doing, man?
What are you doing, man?
What are you doing? I'm not on camera. Whoops. But the painting just off camera that you didn't see was great.
It was so good, dude.
It's the best painting I probably
God, it was great painting.
I didn't miss once.
And thank y'all for being here. Right after this, talking of Paula, Paula and Matthew will be streaming some crap, probably. You know, some garbage.
So are you doing this Mind MGMT that we keep hearing about? People said that you might be.
Sometime when we pop some kind of wonderful, yeah, she is. All right, so now we're just going to go here. It's going to be kind of a light blue-gray. It's not going to be, honestly, that much different from the... I guess it's actually pretty different. I was going to say, it's not that different from the primer, but it's pretty... It's got enough blue in it where it's pretty different. I was like, I hope you all can tell that I'm actually painting something. And I'm not just lying like a poop face.
I'm just making mine look shiny. It says, yeah, we're streaming Mind MGMT, assuming all the tech stuff holds out for me.
Tech stuff.
I just am picturing like cords like straining, like
just running through the house, Lawson fanning like big compressors and stuff, just like
keep the system going. Awesome, dude. That's great. That's cool, bro. But yeah, so stick around for right after this because they will literally start right when we end. We butt up against each other. Because we're best friends forever. We're the three best friends that anyone could have. Is that SpongeBob? What's that from?
It's from Hangover.
Yeah, that's right. It sounds like basically.
It does. I mean, let's be honest. Zach Galifianakis is basically SpongeBob.
That's funny. Boss says that is basically what my house looked like yesterday. So yeah.
Yeah, checks out.
I'm looking. This is Manuel Flamingo says I'm looking for tips on mini painting. Like, how do you shade up? That's a Nick thing, man. All your minis look good though, by the way.
Your minis looking great, Magma.
Yeah, but
it's that Sleaford mini life.
How do you shade up, Nick?
Someday I'm gonna come to Sleaford's. How do I shade up? What do you mean shade? I'm confused. I'm confused on what you mean by shade up. Do you mean like highlighting? Could you clarify that the question just a teeny bit, Daniel? And then I'll be happy to.
Not shade down, Nick. You understand?
I know, shade up, but that's so confusing because shading is usually shading something down, but we want to shade up.
Well, yeah. Well, how would you opposite shade?
I don't know. That's what I think. I don't know how I would put shades up. And all of you, if you have not checked out Paula's stream, it is quite good.
Oh yeah.
And she just hit 50 subscriptions last night, I believe, if I remember correctly.
That's
and so
rad, dude.
that is pretty darn metal. Just like these guys are pretty darn metal.
Because they're robots.
Ew.
Yeah, like highlighting, Nick.
So make sure to go. Yeah, okay, that's what I figured, but I just want to double check. So make sure to go give Paula a follow, and especially if you got that Twine Prub, that's what I just said, Prime sub, throw it her way, because money. She likes it.
Plus,
she needs it.
Plus, suck at Jeff Bezos, so, you know. It's
Suck
as
it,
always, don't do it to help any streamer. Do it to stick it to the man.
Stick it to the Bezos, because he's struggling. Okay, so yeah, like highlighting. So basically, what I will do with highlighting, the basic, like, especially like Games Workshop, this is like their thing. Like, it's just you base coat, which is what we're doing right now. Putting on a base coat, just a flat base coat. Put on a wash, and then highlight up from there. I generally, if I'm not really worrying about, like, I'm not trying to make it look super good, I'll put on 3 highlights generally. And basically, we won't be able to demonstrate it today, really, because we're not really going to highlight these guys very much, because they're just kind of flat, and they're kind of cartoony, so we're not really trying to make them like, you know, like our Rum and Bones memes. We're like, yeah, let's have them like highlight and look all haggard and stuff. These guys, we want them to be kind of smooth and stuff, so we'll put a wash on them, maybe a teeny bit of highlight, but I mean not much. It's mostly just going to be the base coating on these ones, because they cute how they is. But basically, what you want to do is use thin layers. So basically what I'll do is I'll base coat, boom, put a wash on it. Then I'll reapply my base coat again, because now the base coat you put down there has been darkened by the wash. So your original base coat is actually your first highlight, because now your base coat is now darker. So I will reapply the base coat everywhere except for like the deepest parts. So like if I was gonna, you'll see when I wash this, like the indent in his chest here is going to have wash. It's going to be a lot darker. I'm not going to redo that part, because I don't want that to be, I don't want that to be light again. I want that to be dark. And then basically what I'll do is you just kind of pick a smaller area. You go up one shade, add whatever color you're adding to it to make it lighter. Like, you know, if you start with like this blue, like this blue, you can add this blue to it. You know, and what I would do is I would probably have this be my base coat, wash it, which will darken it down. I'll reapply this everywhere except for the deepest highlights. Then I will mix a 50-50 mix of these to get a mid-tone between these two, because this is too big of a transition if you want something to look somewhat smooth. Then I will apply that most places, but in a smaller area. So it's just in a smaller area, and then I would then move straight to this, and then again do another smaller area, depending on where the light would be. If you want to know where the light would be, you can do something that we talked about last week that Paula was talking about, called Zenithal Highlighting. I wish I had an example of it here. I have an example of it at home that I could show you, but basically it's a way, you can look it up, just type in like Zenithal Highlighting into like YouTube for minis, and you'll get a much better explanation than what I'm able to do here without being able to show you. But basically, it's a way to prime your minis so that, bye Panic, bye, so that essentially you have a guide for how to shade things, like what parts should be lighter, which parts should be darker, and that kind of stuff. So that's my kind of quick and dirty way of talking about it. Again, this one is going to be kind of a tough one because we're not going to be highlighting, really, not too much at least, which is going to limit that a bit. Okay, so do you do any dry brushing? I don't really dry brush on minis because oh, hold on, sorry, Slivers. All right, so going back to what we were talking about with Slivies. Sorry, so I was having to help her go ahead and sit down to talk to the computer. After she did this, the first thing she did was take the mouse and set it on the floor.
What?
All right, we're good. Sorry. I don't like to dry brush. I don't do much dry brushing on minis personally because dry brushing gives kind of like a... she had her shoe off and set her socked foot on the mouse. Turns out she had been an old school seamstress all her life and had no family or computer exposure till now. To her, the natural uses of the mouse was for her foot so she could keep her hands on the keyboard, similar to using sewing machines. Did it work?
I'll bet you there's people dexterous enough out
That
there.
probably
like that
worked. I feel like that worked. People comment, I tend to not dry brush on minis like minis like this because one, it tends to give kind of a chalky appearance to things.
Chalk it up to luck.
That guy. And it's a little bit too amazingly it worked, but the mouse wasn't ergonomic enough for her to use properly. That could totally work though. That could totally work. That's awesome. That's really cool.
That is awesome. Love that.
Yeah, so I don't tend to dry brush minis very often. I might do a dry brushing on something like a fur. So if you're painting something like Unmatched, Bigfoot versus Robin Hood by Restoration Games,
As you should.
go to restorationgames.com and find out more. If you're doing something like that, you might want to dry brush the fur because that's okay if it looks kind of unkempt, I guess, or just not super clean. But I tend to not dry brush. I like to dry brush for things like bases. Dry brushing is amazing because you can kind of randomly hit highlights, and that is what you want for something like a base. For me, like that's the thing with dry brushing is dry brushing is always going to be, at least to a degree, somewhat random, and that's its purpose. It's not like that's its purpose. It's not meant to be super precise. So my problem is like unless I have something that will look good looking kind of random in terms of where the highlights are, I don't dry brush. So something like hair can work, but even then, like hair would have specific places where it would have highlights. So I usually won't. But something like a rock, if you are painting a rock for a base, that is great to dry brush because it'll automatically pick up the high edges, but it'll look kind of random, and that will make it look more natural, actually. She switched to using her hands, but both agreed a foot mouse would be useful and a great idea. That is a billion-dollar invention that you should invent, Slivers. Yeah, so dry brushing minis, not much, but again, it depends on what you're really looking for. If you're doing something that's kind of grungy, like a post-apocalyptic kind of thing, dry brushing might work. It kind of just depends on what, like, dry brushing would not work on these because these are meant to be like smooth and stuff. But yeah, so dry brushing, but like you can, what I'll sometimes use dry brushing on is to get a rough idea of where I want to put my highlights, especially if I didn't do something like a Zenithal primer. So I won't be able to show you exactly in terms of like, because you can't see the dry brush anymore. Oh, that's exactly what I was going to give the example for. So perfect. Hold it up to the thingy, Mikey.
This is something.
So that's the Scourge of the Abyss. I was taking pictures of it last night.
I didn't get to see the finished product yet.
Yeah, so that's
the coral is super cool.
Yeah, the coral came out great. So something like the coral will be great for dry brushing. But what I did is his big tail, particularly the back end right there, I dry brushed that because I wanted to get my highlights down. It is kind of a dirty highlight. Yeah, so basically what I did is I dry brushed dark and then lighter and lighter and lighter at the top of the tail to get my highlight down, but then I immediately washed it a bunch of times, glazed it a bunch of times, and then highlighted on top of that. So you can't see any of the dry brushing. But it was a good way for me to kind of get my eye around where I wanted to put the highlights.
This is really good, dude.
Thanks, dude. I'm pretty happy with it. I took nice pictures of it last night, and then I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually pretty happy. I was kind of meh on it.
I know you were saying it. I'm like,
and now I'm happy with it. I think it's...
You gotta get that distance.
It's not it. Yeah, really, that's what it is. I don't think it's quite as good as my Big Lieutenant dude, but I think it's pretty close, and I did it in like literally like a fourth of the time. So like, that's my main active, because any kind of art, I do think you probably should be working towards something. Like, I want to be better at this. I want to be better at this. I want to be better at this. My main thing right now is I want to be better at being faster. That's what I'm trying to do. So that guy particularly, I was like trying to go faster. I didn't go fast particularly.
Let's go faster.
Must go faster. Must go faster. But nonetheless, I think you turned out good. I'm going to post nice pictures of it later on our various social medias.
I'm inclined to agree with you, sir.
All right, so I'm just kind of doing a second coat of this blue since it's pretty darn translucent.
And I'm doing his little blue boot feet.
Boot feet.
And then I'm going to do some like red little trims.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, some of accents of red and blue throughout.
Alrighty, so that's my boy right there. So that's his kind of gray. Macho People Paint makes me want to paint. You should paint. Copyright Foot Mouse, Brothers Murph, TM.
Tim, we should submit that to
TM,
Bill Gates immediately and collect our money.
So I'm trying to get better. I have very shaky hands. I have shaky hands too. The main thing with that, again, I like this big thing. We were talking about this last time. So that way I can brace, because my right hand, which is my painting hand, is shakier than my left hand, which is annoying. TM. And so I constantly brace my heel against this or against my fingers. Or what I'll do is I'll brace my pinkies like this. So if I'm painting and I need to do something really I'll go like, I'll brace like this. And like maybe brace my left hand so I can go like, and then really, you can find different ways to brace your hands, but particularly as someone with shaky hands, bracing is pretty darn key. But yeah. I'm just trying to get brush to mini more often. I keep working too long and run out of time. There's a cool practice talking about that. Running out of time is a real thing, right? And so there's a cool practice where it's a kind of way to trick you into working on stuff, particularly like art is where I like to use it a lot, where it's like every day, you can challenge yourself if you want to. Every day, you need to put paint on a brush. You don't need to paint anything. You don't need to paint anything. But you have to put paint on a brush. You could literally put paint on a brush, wash it off, and go home and do whatever you want. But the idea is like every single day you are required to put paint on a brush. That's it though. You don't have to. You literally don't have to do anything else. There's no honest to God, no pressure to do anything else. You just have to put paint on a brush. That's all you have to do.
I like that.
But the thing is, most people, once they have paint on the brush, they'll paint for a bit. It's like I do that with drawing sometimes when I feel like I want to draw more. I make it where like I have to draw one line on a piece of paper. Because once I've sat down at my drawing table, I got my pens out and stuff like that, and I draw a line on a piece of paper, I'll go, all right, I'll draw an eye. I'll end up drawing for a bit. So it's like that's an interesting way.
I like that. That's a really...
Yeah. And it keeps it, because then it's like you don't get quite as much of that guilt of like, oh, I didn't do this again. It's kind of like, no, I put paint in a brush. I literally didn't have time to do anything else, but I put paint in a brush. You know, and it's something that you can accomplish every day.
Yeah. I think that's a huge piece of it. It's like, is it something you can repeat and something you can accomplish? If it's a small, tiny goal. With like fitness, I've tried to like, you know, not that I'm a freaking beacon of fitness, but
guru over here.
But like, you know, if ever I get into stuff and I get into a habit, I always start with like, dude, do a push-up today.
Yeah, right.
One. I'm talking one. And then tomorrow do one.
Yeah.
Just start as little as humanly possible. And something that's repeatable, because it's about building up a routine.
Yeah, that's all it is.
It's about building up familiarity and structure. You can get a lot done if you build up from, you know, something small. So that's cool. I love that. Just put a little paint on a brush.
Put paint on a brush. That's all you need to do.
All you gotta do.
That's all you have to do.
Just a little bit.
And if you did that, you succeeded, you know?
Yeah, that's great.
It's a guy, you can do that in 1 minute, you know? Just boom, put paint on a brush, wash it off, walk away. But you did it, you know? And then, but like, you know, 6 out of 10 times you're going to paint a bit. Not a lot, but you'll paint a bit, you know? And then, you know, it just becomes that routine. And then,
they start getting excited for it.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Start getting inspired.
So if y'all are trying to paint more, do something more, that's find an equivalent to that you can do, and do that.
I've done that in the past and stuff with like free writing. Just write, and like you can literally just stream of consciousness, write your thoughts as you're coming to you, or whatever. I love challenges that are not goal based. It's just like all you gotta do is like put paint on a brush. It doesn't matter what you paint, if you paint, what that painting is, or writing or drawing. It's just like there's no, because then it's another thing. It's like, oh well, I wanted to draw this, I drew that, or I didn't draw this. What I want. It's like, no, that's not the goal. It's just draw or whatever the thing is. It really doesn't matter what you do. Because then you're just doing stuff, and then like, especially if you're having troubles with inspiration, which happens to any and all of us at different points, it just like helps free you and allows creativity to come to you because you're just doing stuff. Like,
well, my thing again, it's like it takes away so much of the guilt.
Yeah.
God knows we're broken people, so we just guilt ourselves over crap we shouldn't all the time. And I'm assuming a lot of people out there are probably the same way. It's just like you feel guilty because you didn't get this done, because you didn't do this. So it's like it's like I always talk about with painting and stuff like that or whatever. It's like set yourself up for success. So it's like, I know everyone out there is busy. No one is so busy that you can't put paint on a brush. Mm-hmm. You can literally just go open up a pot, put it on the brush, immediately wipe it on. It would take less than 30 seconds. Yeah. And you succeeded. So it's like, set yourself up for success. That should be your goal, not finishing this giant dragon mini by June or something. It's like, that is unnecessary. Just put paint on a brush every single day.
Yeah, Shades Fan says having a dedicated space is crucial because it's like one less barrier.
Yes.
Like there's something always set up, like you have that at home.
Yes.
Which you're going to see this Friday. You'll see a video about Nick's painting setup, and it will include the stuff that we use here. And stuff like that. So it's just like one makes it just ever so slightly easier to do it. Like stuff like that's great.
Well, not to mention, if you can, and a lot of people can't do this, I cannot do this as much as I would absolutely... I would give like half my paycheck to be able to do it. But like, is having not only a dedicated space, like I have a dedicated table in my room.
You don't have it. Yeah, you don't have like
I don't have a space.
It's also in your bedroom.
It's in my bedroom. That's the thing, which is fine. But it's one of those things like...
Be a lot cooler if it wasn't.
It'd be a lot cooler. Again, I'll take a closet. If I could fit a painting desk in a closet, I would put that bad boy in a closet in a minute.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's the thing, is like having a dedicated space, because if you have a dedicated creative space, the second you walk into that space, your mind immediately goes into creative mode, because that's how you associate it. You associate it as that.
You can trick your brain.
I really like that gray, by the way.
Yeah,
that's a great color for that, for the main body. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having a dedicated space means with the second you walk in there, whether or not you're walking in there just to grab, like you're trying to go grab a pair of scissors,
idea
you
might
go cut
pop
something,
in your head.
Yeah, you just immediately start getting into creative mode, because because you literally can't help it, because your brain associates that space with that feeling. So having that is massive. Now, a lot of people can't have that. I can't have that. I don't have a space where I could just have a painting table and if I could have both my art tables, my drawing table, my painting table in there, again, I could literally have nothing else in there. Just a spot that I could be in would be. It was to the point where I was a while ago, back when we were still in the Valley, I was actively looking for a place that because I wanted to draw more, but I have a hard time drawing in my room. I have a less hard time painting in my room for whatever reason. I think painting is so here, it's so focused in that it's easy to be like, I'm not in my room. When I'm drawing, it's not that way. And so I have a very difficult time drawing my room, which is why I paint more than I draw. And I really hate drawing in my room. So I wanted to draw more, but I knew that, like, at least for me, I had to get out of my room if I was going to ever be able to draw more. And of course that didn't happen, because it's very expensive to get a space anywhere, especially in LA. And so I was even hitting up storage units, because there are some places, not in LA, unfortunately, but there are some places where storage unit companies allow people to rent out storage units as like art studios, or like for band practice, because who cares if you're being loud in a storage unit facility?
Just rocking this.
Yeah, so people have like full out band practices in storage units and stuff like that.
Totally makes sense. It's like
totally makes
sense. Industrial area.
Yeah, people use it as an art studio, and it's cool, because then there's I can't remember where it is. It's not in California, but there's a whole place where it's literally, they're called like storage units and art spaces. I mean, they have a more clever name than that, but it's literally in the name. It's like, hey, this is a space to do this, and then they have like open houses essentially. where people open up their storage units and they can sell stuff. That's very, very cool. The problem is in LA at least, every single storage unit place has you cannot conduct business out of your storage unit. Like legally they can't. And so my whole thing is, my argument was like, I'm not selling anything out of here though. I'm not like opening up a storefront. I just want a place to draw. I will then sell those drawings, but I won't sell them out of here. I'm literally just gonna be sitting in here and drawing. And they're like, no. None of them will let me do it. Not mom and pop places, not big places. No one would let me do it. And I was really bummed out because I thought it was a perfect idea. I was like, oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. No dice. We'll get you your space, man.
Is there a time of day you like to paint? Just thinking about my brain being tired at certain times and making more mistakes. I don't have a set schedule.
Just sort of go with the flow.
Yeah, so I just kind of go for the flow. I don't have the ability, really. I mean, I guess we do have a pretty set schedule, but I don't have too much of an ability to be like, I always have this time free. So, like, this will be my painting time. I don't, so I kind of just paint whenever I can. My days off, I'm usually painting or drawing, like, at least 4 hours a day. I try to work at least 4 or 5 hours a day, but usually it's closer to 8. Do you use a magnifier? No, I don't like magnifiers personally because I don't like. It's just unnatural. Like, because it is unnatural. It's magnified. And that unnaturalness is hard for me to get over. I'm like, I have a hard time. Like, when I am looking at my normal eyes, I know to get from here to here, I need to move this much.
Yeah.
When I'm magnified, everything is so much bigger that I go like, I feel like I'm moving this much and it's moving like over here. And I can't, when I'm doing detail work, my detail work is significantly worse with a magnifying glass. And so I don't like them. Now I have decent eyes. I've just normal eyes, honestly. I don't have great vision, but it's not bad. And so I don't need it personally, but I understand the concept. I would love to be able to use them because they seem so cool, but it's just for whatever reason my mind does not like them at all. I need to do one more thing. All right. So we're here, done skis with the blue skis.
Down skis with the blue skis. Did it math and do.
But yeah, having a scheduling, I think, is key to creativity. Having a set time that you work, having a dedicated space to works, all that kind of stuff.
Any of those things can be quite helpful, I imagine.
Yeah, it's massive. You're like, 6 o'clock, this is my creative time. And your brain, it's just getting your brain immediately to go into that mode is the way to create, in my opinion. But at the same time, I do believe that a lot of creativity is forced. Whether it's forced through your schedule, forced through your workspace, or just straight up forced. I very, very, very actively fight back against the concept of waiting to be inspired. It's like sometimes you're not inspired, so just do something not inspired. Just paint some random mini. Don't paint it necessarily fancy or cool or do something really cool or different. Something. Just paint something. And the inspiration will come. Don't wait for inspiration. It'll never come. Doing stuff creates inspiration.
It's very true. Just do the thing. The brain will lock into that mode given it enough time and patience and stuff. And if you're just doing it, Quentin Tarantino, that's the one thing I always cite. He used to talk about that. He'd like write all late at night and all sorts of stuff, and he was like very much like waiting. He's like, now he's like, dude, I write from like 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I go to a cafe. Yeah. I have like he writes on like yellow legal paper.
Yeah.
He's just like, and I just write because like that's my job. And,
yeah.
Like he's just like, and he's like, did that? He's like, and I literally, he's like talks about it. He's like, I scheduled creativity. Like now, like ideas come to me during that time because that's just when my brain is doing that thing. Your brain and everything about our body, it's really awesome is it seeks to become efficient. So it's like if you're used to at these times in these environments doing these things, your brain will try to get better at that thing.
Yeah.
So it has to use less computation.
Well, it works on it outside of, that stuff too, So I don't have a space, I have a couch in the living room. Totally. I have a table in my room. I hear you. Instead of a live and work lofts, it's like store and work. Exactly. Like, I would love some kind of place like that where it's like, you just rent out a room. I mean, you can, but it's just, I wish there was a cheaper, I mean, it's in LA, you know, it's like, one, there's not very many of those places that are geared towards like artists, and the ones that are so expensive. It's insane.
They're very hip.
Yeah. When I used magnifying glass, I couldn't stop messing with the blends. I saw way too much. Yeah. I think I'd have the same problem, Shades fan. I just got a set of glasses at the recommendation of my coworker, and I went from, hey, this is starting to look good, to, oh gosh, this needs so much work. Yeah, it's like, you can be too close. That's what we were talking about. Like, when you're looking at it like this for hours and hours and hours, it looks bad. But you set it back, look at it, give it a day or two, come back to it, and all of a sudden it looks 10 times better. It's really, really good. Do you find those handles work on most minis? I read a review once that said they don't work on a lot of minis, so pasted them up based on that one review. Now I think I'm an idiot. You're not an idiot. They are limited in how much space they can, because this has like jaws like this that snap onto a mini. Most minis, most things with bases, they can fit. You know, like this has got kind of a weird rounded base, but it fit that one just fine. No problem. I like them. They are not like you need to have one. A lot of times will just stick things to the top of a empty pot. This is something that Mike kind of discovered, which was great. If it is too big, what I'll do is use some double-sided tape, or this is like that kind of like poster tack, whatever it's called. And then I'll put that across here and then tack on top. When I was doing the Big Bad Wolf, it has a really big base. So I would just like use some double-sided tape and I just taped at the top of this. Didn't actually use the jaws to touch anything. I just like it because I like how big it is. So when I hold on to it, I have a lot to hold on to. I really, really like that. That makes me, it makes, again, like my unsteady hands, it makes me able to steady my hands out. Because this is so big that I can brace all over. Whereas when I'm holding this, there's nothing for me to brace my right hand, which again tends to be my hand that shakes the most. I can't brace against anything when I'm holding this. It works just fine. Like I can kind of hold on to it like this and then brace down here. But it's just not as natural. This one is just, because it's so big, I can hold on to it with like my entire hand. If I'm doing something like this, I can hold on to it like this and still brace in a bunch of different places. My thing is the bracing is what's very, very important to me. Oh, yeah. Because my hands shake, especially when I'm doing detail stuff. And so yeah, Larry.
Oh, sure.
Okay, hey, they're right.
Well, I gotta stop the shakes.
You gotta stop the shakes, man. I usually have a beer in the morning to do.
Oh, yeah, I gotta have a beer in the morning there. Take a shot of whiskey. That'll straighten you out.
Alrighty, now I'm gonna use kind of a darker silver. I'm carrying the lead bilcha.
Lead bilcha.
Is this the extra large one or the regular? I think it's just the regular. I don't think it's the extra large one.
This thing?
Yeah.
It's bigger than this?
The handle isn't bigger. The top is bigger.
Okay.
Because they can hold bases that are like this. So that does seem cool. I don't think I'd care. If I really need to, I would just sticky tack it to the top of this rather than like getting one of those extra large ones. Unless I have one for like, I don't know how much they are. Maybe if they're like $5, then I'd get one. Because I think you can switch these out. But they're not that necessary, in my opinion. I would just sticky tack it to something.
Whatever, again, makes it easier for you to paint, and if that's having that tool is going to make you want to paint more, then do it.
Again, set yourself up for success.
And if it's not, then, like, don't do it.
I repurposed an old prescription bottle that had a reversible lid, so I just used the poster tacky stuff to stick the mini to it. Exactly. That's great, because that's got a good... My thing is, I want something that's big enough for me to, like, hold on to it with my whole hand. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. And so something like a prescription bottle? Totally. Ordered one for my brother. Thanks, Murphs. You got it, Shades fan. We're here to make you spend money, baby.
That's all we do, baby.
So Kickstarter has a lot of new variations for mini holders. They do. They have all sorts of ones that like have these big like hooky things over them that you can hold on to. They're super wild. I just like this one. This is fine. Oh, Shades fan. Thank you for the biddies, Shades fan.
Yeah.
Thank you for the biddies, girl.
All right, so now I'm going to paint everything else, this kind of dark silver called lead belcher that we like to use quite a bit. Oh, I should grab them. I was going to say, next week, so this is the last week we're going to be painting Quirky Circuits. A little 2-weeker right here, boom, boom. And then the next 2 weeks after that, as far as we know, we're going to be painting minis from a game called Sea of Legends, which I believe is coming out on Kickstarter here very, very soon. I'm going to grab the minis now, but they're these big old minis, very cool looking, but they sent us those, rather GenCon sent us those, and we'll be painting those, which will be super, super cool. So we'll be doing that over the next 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And then what's happening?
And then I guess we should just announce it, huh? And then after that, unfortunately, our time painting minis for GenCon, at least for right now, is coming to a close.
Indeed.
So those will be the last 2 weeks. So 2 weeks after this one, we are no longer going to be painting minis on GenCon's channel, which is too bad, but it's just, it's just the times are weird, stuff like that. And we are going to be not painting minis with GenCon anymore. But, Mikey.
But we are going to continue right on doing our show, except for on our channel. So it'll be the same time, same day. So that's Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/the Brothers Murph. So if anyone
which is down here
has been watching this show and enjoys it, but doesn't follow our other, our main Twitch channel, we're going to continue the show there because we've really enjoyed doing this. It's really fun.
Yeah, we have a really good time doing it.
So we're going to continue right on doing it over there. So please do give us a follow. So that
please keep hanging out with us.
So that we can keep hanging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be super cool. Casper says, okay, cool. I can deal with that news then. Connor says, awesome. Makes me happy. It's been really inspiring me. Yeah, no, we it's been really fun. For me, like I've gotten like really into this. That's why I'm kind of quiet today. I'm just kind of into the painting.
Yeah, I know you're into the painting. Well, I've been kind of dominating all the time.
It's going really good, and then I've gotten sloppy the last 3 minutes.
That's how it goes, baby. But yeah, so it's too bad, but we're not going to stop the show. We asked GenCon if they were cool with us just kind of continuing on our own channel, and they said absolutely. And we may move back onto GenCon with this someday. We'll have to kind of see. And we're still going to be leading into Paul and Matthew. We'll probably just be rating them or something like that. So we still want to help out our good friends and stuff like that, with some viewers. We still kind of want to keep things the same. We're just not going to be doing it on GenCon. The Monday show on GenCon is not going anywhere. Our Monday show on GenCon is going to stay exactly the same. It's just the painting stream is going away on GenCon. Again, staying with us, but it's going to be going away on GenCon. So you still will get your painting, all your paint and fixes, just not here on this channel. So please feel free to follow us and continue watching us over there. If you don't already watch us, if you only ever watch us on GenCon, please consider hopping on over and hanging out.
Giving us a little follow there, folks. It would be great if you did. You won't regret it.
You'll hear some banger music right now if you give us a follow. Just letting you know right now.
Oh, it does. It'll be really cool sounding.
I really enjoy the painting stream. It's chill and I can learn. That's good. I was gonna be so sad. No, it's not sad. Just different. On your video Friday, we'll be making paint/ink recommendations. I will let you know what I use. I want to do Dutch. What's up, Dutch baby? I will let you know what I use. My thing with paints, any paint that's made for minis is good paint. Like some are, better than others, arguably better than others, but really, of the main brands, I would say like Reaper, GW, which is Games Workshop, which is Citadel. Reaper, Citadel, P3, Vallejo, because it's really, that's definitely not how it's a Spanish company. Vallejo, any of them, all of them are great. I will let you know what I use, and I will probably link a video to a great starter set that people ask a lot. What's a great starter set? There's a video out there that I would just point you to nonetheless, but I will talk about paints and why I use Citadel paints and The why I use Zenithal paints mostly is just because they were the first paints I bought, and I like my paints to all look the same. But that is just me being.
Give a
weird
listen to
about
This
it.
Game is Broken podcast. Absolutely give a listen to that and tell your friends.
Indeed.
That'd be awesome. All the things. Follow all our things and love us. Just love us.
But yeah,
Am I
so
coming off desperate? I don't think I am.
so make sure to follow us over on our own channel because not this week. We'll be here on Gen Con for 2 more weeks, and then we're gonna be moving over. So please give us a follow over there and continue hanging out with us painting because we want to keep doing it because we really.
Plus, we do other cool stuff. Like tomorrow, we're gonna play some Rush MD for y'all.
Yeah.
Get wacky. Get hectic. I dare say.
Hectic.
You know, that's gonna be pretty fun. Real time game.
Yeah.
Cheer.
Chia.
Boy.
Chia boy.
Cheer, boy.
Come here, Chia boy.
Come here, cheer, boy. What are you doing, cheer, boy? You listening to Jamiroquai again? I see.
All right, so I'm just painting on kind of like all these like little bolts that he has sticking out. I'm just painting them a quick silver, and then once we know the silver here, I gotta do the white of his like headband here. White, milky white. And then I'm gonna shade it. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. Oh, gosh, I'm farther than I thought I was. I need to feed up. I just realized this orange is not my final color. I'm doing yellow on top of it. Forgot about that part.
Whoops.
Whoopsies. Whoopsie-daisy, man. What's been your favorite thing we've painted so far, Mikey?
I think these.
Really?
They're so adorable.
They are.
With each thing, I've gotten more and more confident. I'm enjoying the challenges and stuff. So like, I don't know, man. It's like all wonderful, and so it's sort of like whatever I'm painting in the moment is my favorite thing I've painted.
So now this is going to be probably skewed based off the fact that you were once much newer than you are now. But what's been the most difficult thing you think? Now again, like the first ones, you could be like Roman Bones because I had no idea what I was doing. But like trying to kind of put aside the fact that you were new, then what would you say has been the most difficult thing or the scariest thing? And also, it could be the Roman Bones minis.
Could be no. Roman Bones was like a good, like you said, a good place to start because like if they look grungy, cool. Like
Yeah,
they're
right.
Underwater like skeletons.
Demons.
Demons. So I think that probably last week was the hardest.
Really?
Doing Gizmo and trying to go over these very smooth surfaces, and this week is proving to be similar. And just the getting like, I don't know if you can tell, but you can see a lot of like the blue brush strokes and stuff in here. So I'm going to have to go over that again for sure, which is always going to be part of the plan. But that's tough. And then trying to do kind of like the little furry vibe on something very smooth. Was tricky, and I was definitely out of my comfort zone because I was like, I have this idea of something I kind of want to look, but I really don't know the terminology, the technique to accomplish this thing, but I think it's a thing. Mm-hmm. And so trying to communicate like what I'm envisioning and then, kind of getting your guidance and stuff. And it was tough, it was challenging work, but like really fantastic at the same time. Like really happy with it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So they've all been really cool. Like I love that each thing we've done has presented different new opportunities and challenges.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to do that. Be like, okay, we're gonna paint this.
Welcome to Team Ping Pong. You ping pong.
Joanna, shut up. Thank you for the follow, Joanna. That's that fancy music. If you want to hear that again, give us a follow on Twitch.tv/BrotherMurph.
Bad about a move.
Twice our Brothers Murph. Thank you for the follow, Dan. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. I'm
Appreciate
not
you.
sure if you're watching over here on Gen Con or not, but
We appreciate you.
pop in the chat and say hi if you are.
Said, hey, how you doing?
Well, there you go.
That's how you follow, folks.
Bang, bang,
Paul said,
bang.
whoa, cool. My
Indeed.
mini is very cool. Look at that dog.
I don't know if that's what
I
you're
know
talking
that's
about,
what
but
you're talking Imagine.
do you have close-up pictures of those finals from last week, or did I just miss it? What are you talking about?
The minis.
Oh, I took up some nice pictures of the Scourge of the Abyss. I'll post them today. I haven't taken any nice pictures of the Big Bad Wolf, other than the ones I already posted. Some you gotta learn to talk about paints are crazy though. Like contrast and scale color are strange and super unique. Vallejo's my favorite. My first were P3. P3 is actually my first too. It's the first ones I bought. Vallejo I really want to try because I like their color range. Scale 75, which is what you're talking about, is a super difficult. Do not buy Scale 75. That is a very often considered the most difficult paint range to use.
What makes it difficult?
It's the consistency you need between like thinness and water is really hard to get right. But it is super, super matte. Like, it's matte to the point where it's ridiculous. Like, you could have a freaking police spotlight on it, and you won't see one. It'll just, boom, same matteness. It's just crazy matte, which a lot of people want, especially if you're taking nice pictures. You don't want things to catch the light and, like, flare up at all.
Yeah, right.
Like, I had that a bit of a problem with the Scourge here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't really care, so it's not a big deal, but particularly if you're painting like non-metallic metals and stuff like that, like you want them to be matte so you can really control the way they look. It's just all for control of over your paints and stuff like that.
Sure.
But it's considered to be a very advanced paint range that I have absolutely no interest in trying.
Yet.
Yeah, you're probably right, but
in time, something to work towards.
Yeah, and I have no like. I need to do it soon. I need to get better so I can try. I'm like, if I try it, cool. If not, I don't really care.
Yeah. It'll happen if it happens.
So I've decided these acrylic tubes my ex gave me, which I'm extremely thankful for, but I feel like they're not very smooth and easy to use. Some of them have been clumpy lately. Yeah. My thing is I would just like, don't get me wrong. Can you just use normal paint? Yes, totally, 100%. My thing is though, it's like use paint that's made for minis because it is different. It tends to have very high pigmentation, which means it tends to be very colorful. They're very easy to thin. It's what they're made for, you know? And so my thing is, again, it's kind of like set yourself up for success. It's like, yeah, you can paint with normal acrylic paint. You can paint with craft paint, you know? It won't look great, but you could do it. But it's like, to me, it's like, get the tools that were made for this job. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of tools you could use at a construction site that will work, but like, use this. You could use this, but like use this. This is what this was made for, you know, kind of thing. That's kind of how my personal viewpoint towards it is. Said it uses gel medium for pigment to get it all painty. I wonder if I had learned on Scale 75, it would have been easier. I was watching a video about that, about Scale 75, and someone was talking about that, where they were like, talking about like how you should never get Scale 75 if you're a beginner, but then they also kind of were like, but at the same time, like, what if this is all you knew? Like, what if this is what you learned on? It would be a harder learning curve, but if this is all you knew, you might end up being able to use it and, like, be a baller with it, too. And so it was an interesting kind of thought process behind it. So I have Reapers because that's what I was gifted. Totally. And Reaper's great. So, like I said, all those main paint ranges, they're all great. You don't need to get, like, Citadel because, you know, you play Warhammer 40K and, like, that's, you know, GW has a very strong presence in the miniature market. I mean, they are the top dogs, have been the top dogs forever, you know, all that kind of stuff. But I use Citadel paint, but that's because when I was new, I just didn't know anything about painting. And I was like, oh, I've heard of Games Workshop. This is their paint. It must be the best paint. So I bought it. And that was literally my thought process behind it. And that's fine.
You know, wrong with that.
And I like Citadel paint, fine. But it's like, it is nowhere near like, this is the only paint range on the planet.
It's the paint you must use.
Must use this paint.
You must use the paint. Do. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom.
Down, down, down.
What's everyone's favorite thing they've ever painted?
Fair question.
What's your thing? What do you think you've done the best on? Everything. Now, granted, there's not too much.
I think those red Scythe minis.
Red Mechs
came out. The mechs came out pretty cool.
They are pretty freaking fuego.
Pretty happy with those.
I want to play Scythe again because like now we got all these painted minis.
I know, dude.
Can I have some that quiet scar right there? Any paint is great. Specific mini paints are wonderful for not getting discouraged because they make you capable of doing nice work even at beginner level. 100%. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, you can use any paint, but you're gonna have to work with it, which is fine, especially if you're like are already a like acrylic painter and you know paints really well. You would be fine. And there's a lot of painters who like literally have cyan, magenta, yellow, and black and white, and that's the only colors they have. And they just mix everything because they know paints really well. So it's like they don't need to get anything else, and they just use like really nice Arctic acrylic paint because they know how to mix it for minis. They know how to thin it down or thicken it up or whatever it is they need to do. They know how to do that for minis. Yeah, because they know paint.
Yeah.
I don't know paint because I'm not a painter outside of mini painting. So, like, I know a decent amount because I was an art teacher for a while, and, like, I know enough, but, like, I don't know, like, all these different kinds of gel mediums and what you can use to, like, I'm like, I don't know any of that kind of stuff. And so I just use mini paints. Because, again, it's like, this is what this is made for, so yeah. I'm just going to use this. How you doing? What you up to? What you doing? Ooh, okay. That looks great. Oh, there's a little neckerchief. I didn't realize you had a little neckerchief on. It's so cute. Oh, it's so cute.
Little neckerchief.
You got a good color scheme there, dude.
Yeah.
That's a nice, clean color scheme right there.
Yeah, I wanted kind of the gray and then kind of red and blue sort of alternating little accents and things. And then I'll just do a little black nose. Little black pupils for the eyeballs.
Yeah, you better be ready.
Yeah. It's getting there. Then from there, I mean, I guess, like, that will be my question is, like, what do I do?
I'd probably throw a wash on her at that point.
Okay, cool. I never threw a wash on Gizmo. Should I do that?
No, Gizmo was so big and smooth. I mean, because the Roomba was relatively smooth. Mm-hmm. Gizmo itself was really smooth, and you kind of did your own shading and such with, like, the fur you were doing. Yeah. So you didn't really need it. But, like, Twirl, I wanted it because she had, like, a bunch of these rivets where her, like, metal arms were and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But, no, you don't need to. I mean, I've kind of gotten more and more, at least my own personal painting. I hardly ever use washes anymore. Like I did that Big Bad Wolf, and I used no washes on it. I didn't use any washes on the Scourge here. I've just been taking to painting a really dark base coat that if I painted a normal base coat and then washed it, this is more or less what it would end up being anyway. And then I just highlight up from there. Now that means I'm doing like 10, 15 highlights up.
But you like doing that, anyway.
Yeah, but I like highlighting. It's my favorite part of painting, and I hate base coating, and I'm not even a huge fan of washing either, so.
Jace, man, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm, like, really happy with this. It's coming out nice.
Yeah, Mike's picked a banger-in color scheme on that. That's perfect.
Yeah, just sort of, what did I see? Now I don't know what I was looking at. Bing bong.
You bing bong?
You damned bing bong.
You darn bing bong. What time is it? Oh, it's already 10:11. Okay, we got time. This guy is big, so I've been trying to kind of rush through him. It's like that mix of like moving quickly but not moving sloppily.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Man, sometimes it's for me, I find, I love that you're calling it a neckerchief. Adorbs.
What
versus what, Karen?
Hi, Karen. What is it? An ascot?
Neckerchief? No, I guess because that's a very Boy Scouty thing, I suppose.
It is a neckerchief. It's around his neck.
What's it around? His necker.
His necker, obviously. His little robotic necker.
I'm pretty happy with this so far.
You should be, man. I think it looks really good. Really nice and smooth. Again, your color scheme was perfect. Like, what you choose to be what colors was, like, bang on. Absolutely bang on.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, really good.
I'm happy with it. Would have maybe gone the lighter red, but it's you know.
And you can
like
color that up. Yeah.
Bits.
Red, you Mephiston red. Mephiston red dries way darker than it looks.
Yeah. I don't hate it.
And you can always just highlight up from there. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nothing against having a couple highlights.
Oh, no, man. Always be prepared. See, Shades, man, what's up? If someone asks us to be prepared, I respond, we are.
Exactly. Yeah, someone yells at me in a crowded street, be prepared. We go, we are! So we're very aggressively prepared.
I know. Like we're angry that they
How dare you
suggest the idea that
even,
we're not prepared.
yes.
Jesus, okay. Now, you're prepared.
God, we get it.
What do you want? Sheesh.
Cry about it.
Merrimack, thank you for posting the schedule as we were talking about earlier. This is how I mix my paints. Oh, God. We're not the only show today. If you stick around, right at 11, we go right from this show into This Game Gets Dicey, featuring Matthew Jude, Paula Deming playing Mind MGMT. Quick time, Meg, can you check your Discord messages here to do add your? Oh yes, will do. Thank you. I had seen that you responded, and I totally forgot that I hadn't responded until I saw your name pop up this morning. I was like, shoot, I got to do that. I'll do that right straight away after this. Thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. So just stick around, folks. What I'm saying. Question, Nick. Question. So this dude's like wearing this little visor. Now I was just gonna go like pupil, boop, boop, right there, just on the bottom part. But what should I do for the big?
That's up to you. You can do whatever you want.
White in there.
You can do whatever. You can do white. You can do. You did purple for Gizmo. You can keep that theme going. It's that inside the eye. Think of that as the iris. Like your eyes are brown, my eyes are blue. It could be whatever you want. I mean, or you can keep, because right now the kind of pupil part's blue. You can paint the inside black and then have the pupil be blue because he's a robot. And robots a lot of times have kind of like his pupils, his kind of eyes. Lefty here, his eyes are kind of glowy because his eyes are lights. So it's like it would make sense, but also you could do it the other way too. It's up to you how you want to interpret the eyes.
Okay, thanks for the guidance.
Said so you actually make a great point. Learning how dark a paint dries is such a battle, even when painting walls in the house. Oh yeah, totally. Ooh, fluorescent orange, says Shades fan. Yes.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'll do that.
I constantly warn Mike, now that's going to dry darker, particularly reds. At least reds for Citadel dry
Because when you put it on
way
fur,
darker.
Screaming red, you're like, ooh, and you're like, it's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine. There's a lot of colors, blues and reds particularly,
I like the orange.
tend to dry much darker, especially reds. But blues are not great either. Certain ones don't. Like oranges don't really, yellows don't really, like greens don't really. But man, blues and reds, woo, girl. Which can be tough when you're highlighting because you're like, oh, that's too far of a highlight. I took it too far. But then when it dries, it actually looks fine. And it can get very scur. All right, so now I'm just basically painting over this orange with some yellow. Because he actually has yellow.
What are you, yellow?
Although I didn't mind this eye.
What you say? You remember how that used to just start gunfights?
What are you, yellow?
You just said, what are you, yellow? It's just like, whoa.
When you go watch old Yeller, they're like, what'd you say?
What'd you say, mate?
I love that movie. Who said that? Who said that?
It's like, whoa.
Oh, God. So good.
All right, I'm going to do a little bit of orange in here. Let's just get crazy.
Also, knowing the consistency of your colors, considering certain colors are naturally much more thin. Like this yellow, I did not water this yellow down, and it is real thin.
Yeah.
So you're doing orange, huh? You crazy. Don't listen to Shades fan. Shades fan is drunk. Drunk on the job.
No, yep.
Like, yeah, everyone knows that. Everyone has accepted this. It's like, good call. Oh, no. No.
I'm just going to touch that whole thing again, so screw it. Nope. Just touch it. Who cares, Nick? God, it's annoying. Touch it up a little bit, but thank goodness I'm not working. Because I am hammered.
Because I am hammered.
Positively blasted out my mind. I'm out my dang good. Yellows are so tricky, says Shades fans. Yeah. Yeah, yellows are weird. I'm just kind of really whacking this one on right here, as they say in Zibritan. Yeah, getting yellow smooth sucks. That's also one of the reasons why I tend to put a base coat of a slightly darker color. It smooths out this. Not a ton, but it does a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Do. Okay. Sorry, we'll open the chest. Just doing some precision. Trying to paint this nose and only the nose.
Fine. Never mind. No one said anything. I was like, oh gosh, we're missing the chat. And then no, we weren't. We weren't at all. I keep on painting this robot. She won't. Benny will. Alright, so now I gotta retouch this blue. Actually taking a break from drinking downers. Taking a break from drinking downers in a high stress situation like a global one would not be a good mix.
Word.
Based on family history, but why don't think we don't drink? We got family history there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. A lot of history with the drinking game there, hey?
Guess what, folks? Spoiler, didn't go well.
Real big shocker. Didn't go great for our family. Laughing makes it easier.
Doesn't it, though?
Okay. I'm going to touch up that part of the arm once that yellow dries. But this is basically the base coat. I'm going to wash it. I'm going to... Hopefully the wash smooths out the yellow a little bit. I'm not that confident it will, but... we're going to see.
I gotta fix it a little bit, but it's okay. We're your family now.
We are your family.
Look at me. Look at me. We're your family now.
We are your family now. And our family's great. Most of them are in recovery, and it's great. Everything's fine.
I feel like that was some super fast painting for you, Nick. I feel like you're getting quicker. I dare say you've turned a corner.
Well, I'm trying to paint quicker. That's the
you're
thing.
a quick
Yeah.
painter now.
Now, granted, this is a relatively easy paint job, but yeah, I am actively trying to paint. Especially this one. I was like, I want to do this one because I need to try and paint quicker. Like, we only have one session to do these. And I would prefer not to do this. Oh, I love that orange.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
Good
orange.
call.
It's perfect. Look at that. It's so good. Oh, good call, Shades fan. Yes, I was joking with the orange, but I just think it looks awesome. I think it looks really good. It breaks it up. You know what it does? You know what it does, Mikey? Draws you into the eyes.
Puts the
Boom.
focus right there.
Boom. That's called good painting.
Puts them on the peepers.
Did you do? You did the tongue pink?
Yeah.
Oh, so cute. That's a great. You're doing a great job. That one's my favorite by far that we've done.
Yeah, I'm kind of nailing this.
I heart you two more than you love the orange. I think you were underestimating how much we love the orange and overestimating how much you love us. But also, I love you.
Bam. Loving that. What's everyone up to today, man? What's everyone got on the docket, work or otherwise? Especially not work stuff. What do you got planned for the day? I'm gonna work on maybe making another sample thing for if we get gifted subs.
Oh, okay.
Work on something like that. Sounds kind of fun. I'm gonna do some editing.
We should also hit up Amir today about the donation one.
I'm gonna do some research on how to
I
make
have
stream
no
moments.
idea.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna do some of that.
No credit here. Michael chose the orange. Oh, you get all the credit, Shades fan.
I'm gonna try to play something digitally. I think play a game.
Oh, okay.
Play.
Mikey finished Zelda, so
I did.
he's got. Do you want me to leave Civ 6 with you? You're talking about maybe want to dive into that.
That would be great.
Yeah,
actually.
sure. All right, so doing a little bit of touch up here on the spots that I smacked with the yellow and other colors because I suck at this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and throw a wash on the girl. Now I am a little lost as to what to do the wash. I don't want to do a whole bunch of different washes because I just don't care that much.
I have very similar questions.
What I'm probably going to do for mine, I think you probably should do for yours, is do a thin down wash of black.
Okay.
That's what I'd probably do.
Shades fan says, I'm a bug Matthew and Paula, then probably sleep. Word.
That's
Respect.
fair.
Respect.
That's fair.
Respect.
That's fair.
Kester says, working again. So annoying. Animal Crossing later, too. The upgraded shop should be opened today.
I don't know what those words mean, but I'm happy for you.
So now that Zelda's over, I lack a bit of direction, and Animal Crossing is getting to be.
You should do it. You should. I'm sure people would be down to watch you play on stream. So for that reason alone, you can get it.
Casual Mike, what was your favorite Divine Beast or town/area? Did you get the Hylian Shield? Did you like the Battle with Ganon? Hylian Shield, I don't know if I got that. Did I? Don't know if I got that. Battle of Ganon was good. By that point, it wasn't underwhelming because it was cool, but
you just crushed.
I had gotten good at knowing how to dodge and stuff and do the flurry rushes and things. So it was actually just really cool because I felt very capable, which was awesome. That was cool. My favorite Divine Beasts, I was trying to think of. I love that each of them was puzzly.
It took me forever to get to the elephant one.
The first one, the elephant one, was maybe the hardest in terms of the puzzling.
Oh, really? Okay.
Man,
it took me so long. I was so annoyed.
I really liked. Oh, what are they? The big rock fire bowling ball dudes.
See, I have no idea who you're talking about. That's awesome.
What the heck are their names? I'm totally blanking right now. Dutch suggests, I think. Mike, what about Mario Maker 2 and play levels / worlds created by Patreons?
You
That's
did
a
mention
Switch thing,
that.
right? The Mario Maker 2, I think.
Well, it's because it's a Nintendo thing.
Yeah. I'd be super down for that. I'm super down for that.
we are not good at Mario, Mikey.
Not, yeah, no. I probably will not succeed in any one thing. Merrick says, "Oh my God, Animal Crossing! You already have 100 friends."
That is true.
Missy says, "Also, I sent you money last week. Did you ever buy Katamari?"
I haven't had a chance yet, Nancy.
Damas.
I'll do it today. Thank you. Sorry, I haven't.
Awesome.
I keep forgetting to respond to that. My apologies.
Chase Valley says, Breath of the Wild single-handedly got me back into video games. I've been on hiatus for a long time. Same. Literally, I'm just kind of getting back into it right now. Nick got me a Switch for Christmas. And got Luigi's Mansion 3, which was awesome. And then I played Zelda. I've never played a Zelda game, period. And that was real fun. But yeah, I don't know. Probably the whole lizard Divine Beast was cool. And getting through, like, that was cool because it's, like, really hot, so you had to get, like, clothes that can survive. It's like, that was, like, getting into that whole thing was very neat. Yeah, I really liked that. Katamari is really fun. It's fun. A lot of rolling around. What do you mean rolling around? You know, y'all are like me and my brother. He's 32. I'm 28. Rip. Nice. Yeah, basically. We're 3 years apart.
Yeah.
What's it called? But yeah, I'm like super stoked to be into stuff right now.
Yeah, it's been fun I've been pumped that you've gotten back into video games in kind of a big way.
Yeah,
which is great, man. It's a great console.
Oh, dude, that's really excellent. I'm playing Rocket League.
That's right. I forgot you even play Rocket League.
Guess what? Spoiler alert, I'm real bad, but I've been training. I'm getting better. I'm starting to get a touch for it a little bit, and I mean a little bit. Like, I've scored a goal like maybe 3 times in a game online. I'm always just a hair too late with my ideas and reactions to things, and people are like, yep, they beat me to the ball or whatever. I'm like, damn, thought I was gonna do that, and they're like, nope. Steve, good morning to you.
Hi, Steve.
Someone says, oh my god, why don't you tell me these things? Am I talking about Rocket League or what? If it's about Rocket League, it's because I literally just started playing it. It's really fun.
What are we talking about?
Well, the washing is working great on the robots, says Merrimack. I agree. It's looking real good.
Robot. Yeah, washes. Especially on something like a robot where they have like rivets and like these things. Apparently over here this yellow wasn't dry because now it's just running everywhere, but we're already in it.
Whoops.
That's not good. Yeah, washing, especially this kind of stuff, is, yeah, it's very satisfying.
Yeah. Sliver says Rocket League is crossplay, so I can play on the PS4 with you, dude. Let's do it.
That's true.
I'm really bad, but I just started giggling. Karen's like, "What are you laughing about?" I'm like, "Dude, I took off, went in the air, and just like always, it's just like I'm like going feet, and I just go." And pass right by the ball with hitting nothing. I'm just like in the air and can't control myself. I'm just like, oh, I missed again. It's 100% just near misses of the ball. And then once in a while I do something. That says Rocket League is great, but I haven't played it in a long time. I'm the dude who's like perpetually very late to the game. Like, yeah. I think most people are like, oh yeah, Rocket League was cool.
Splatoon 2 way too late. Yeah,
just I'm like already late to the game, but it's just I'm having a great time.
As long as you have a good time, Mikey.
Yeah, man, I'm having a great time. Slivers, I'm super down though. That'd be really fun. Slivers says, wait, you were supposed to hit the ball? In theory, man. You know what? I see a lot of people that have a veteran tag and they hit the ball. And I'm like, I just like to be around. I like to be the ball. I like to be a chaotic feature that's just like, what's that person doing? I like to think sometimes what I do, like I was playing a game this morning, and I did a power slide around the ball, and then my teammate hit a goal, and so I was just like, in my head, I was like, dude, I ran a distraction. Yeah. They thought I was going to go for the shot. I swung around so he can come in, and I was really helping my teammate. I was like, dang, this guy must be a pro. I just missed. I didn't see that. I didn't know my teammate was in the area at all. So, but hey, they don't need to know that.
They don't need to know that, do you?
Steve says, anything that doesn't need to come into the apartment stays in plastic bins in the carport. Anything in a sealed plastic bag gets dunked in bleach solution. What? Righteous. I don't know. That must be in response
to talking.
Keeping stuff clean and nice and life and sweet. Sliver says, Sam and I watch Rocket League Championships on Twitch sometimes. So fun to watch the crazy good people. Yeah.
People are so good at it.
I can only imagine. Because, like, there's all sorts of, like, just little touches you can do and, like, get a feel for it all. You know, I'm sure you can get incredibly smooth with it all. If we get COVID, I'll be pissed off. So, Steve, yeah, man, if you're doing all those measures and you somehow get sick, like, that's not fair. You're like, come on, I'm doing my part. Okay. How should I wash this, Nick?
I got some water down Nolan over here. I just did it all over the place.
All right.
And then now just trying to get it up off the smooth surfaces. Like, I don't want it gathering right there.
I'm going to give it a minute, actually, make sure everything's dry.
Yeah, you should do that.
Should be, but I just did some touch-ups.
Oh,
I'm super stoked on this. This is nice.
Yeah, I made it to come back before we play on Monday and give him some TLC in terms of like smoothing this stuff out, but I think he came out good. It's 10:30. Okay, we got a little bit of time. I might be able to hit some stuff up here.
Hit some stuff up, man. Dang, coffee standing, Nick. Nice little midnight jolt last night.
Who? What?
Oh. Like jolt awake, weren't able to sleep, Steve? Or did you drink coffee too late and stayed up? Get all wired.
Get all lit.
Alright. Oh, there's an earthquake last night.
Oh, is that right?
3.9. Okay, I did not notice.
I never feel earthquakes.
Unless maybe that's why I woke up and it was, after the quake, so I didn't know that's what was going on. I thought you drank some Jolt Cola.
Some Jolt Cola. Bring it back, dude. 2 times the caffeine, 3 times the fun.
Just gonna know this dude real quick.
Alrighty, so that's oh boy washed.
Gave him a wash.
Just trying to get
Gave him a Wolfgang wash.
Wolfgang wash. We gotta wash that Wolfgang.
Wolfgang, you gotta wash that, pal.
Yeah, so that's our basic whoosh right there. Yeah, so that's how we're looking after that one wash. And so he looks pretty good. Again, the thing I like about the wash is that, again, it gets into all these like little indentations right there inside his little kind of spring turny thing here. And it just makes stuff like that look really, really good. Like his whole metal base here looks good. And I'll probably come back through. The one thing it did do, and I'm actually very happy about that, as you can see, is it smoothed out the yellow a lot. It's still kind of dirty looking, but it is much, much smoother. I think I have too small a brush to apply washes. It's real hard to apply it evenly. That is a very real possibility. That is a very real possibility. Having a couple different sizes. I mean, when I'm painting, I basically only use this exact brush right here, which is a Raphael number 2 brush. That's exactly what I use. Unless I am doing really, really small details, I will move over to a size 0 brush, which is real small. But I basically only use a size 2. I use it for base coating, I use it for highlighting, I use it for everything. It's really good because it's a big fat boy brush. Can hold a lot of paint, but it comes to a really fine point. I like it a lot. And so that's what I use. But I have a bunch of, like, even these kind of crappy ratty brushes that we have now that I make Mike use. Actually, we had to put an order in for some stuff, and so we're going to get Mikey some brushes. Mikey's like, I think I want some brushes. And I'm like, what? At the very, very least, I want to get you one of these Raphael number 2s. Because we can probably share that 0 right there, because I don't use it very often.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, having a couple, we're still going to keep all our other brushes because they're great. Like, I use those ones for dry brushing, because dry brushing, you want kind of a brush. I would never dry brush with this brush because it's way too nice for that. Dry brushing is rough on your brushes because you're just doing that on a thing, which is cool, but it makes it's tough on the brush, which is fine. But so it's good to have brush. I mean, I have these are old brushes. I don't even know what I had. They're like Artist Law. These are like Michael's brand brushes. They're super messed up. But I use these. These are my mixing brushes. This is what I use to get paint out of the pots, put it on here, mix it. And I use these brushes because they have a relatively big bristle, so they can grab a lot of paint, and then I don't care about them being. I can just kind of roughly mix stuff, do stuff because I don't care. It doesn't matter. And then I have these big ones. Like, I'll use this big flat brush here for like dry brushing a base if I have a really big like rock base. Really just go all over the place. And yeah. How's it looking, Mikey?
It's coming all right.
Yeah, it looks good. It's darkening down the pots it's supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That looks great, dude.
Yeah.
What fun. My go-to brushes are size 2 and 3 Winsor Newton. The tip I can get on those are finer and steady than I can get with any size 0. Exactly. That's why I like this one, because this one, the tip is so fine. I usually don't even need even the smaller one. The smaller one I'll use if I want really, really fine strokes. But even then, I'm like, I can still get pretty darn close with this. So you're saying I need more than one brush? Not necessarily. You can use one. I was a one brush kind of gal for a long time. Nice. That looks great, Mikey.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty into it.
Yeah, dude. Alrighty, I'm
One
gonna
thing
see.
I've got to do here in a minute is I've actually got to pull it off the base so I can get the inside. There's a couple of detail things on the inside part of the feet that I just can't reach.
Yeah, he's gonna be tough in there.
But for the most part, this is pretty good.
Try and punch up this yellow.
Little dirty dog.
Kind of reapply this yellow to some certain spots that I kind of want the emphasis on.
Emphasis in the wrong syllables. Matthew Jude!
Hi, Matthew.
What's up, man? Sliver says, okay, so I'm suddenly feeling a little out of sorts, bewildered, feeling surreal. With me moving, I just opened up a new bank account near where I'm looking to move. I have a 50 and over account now.
That's weird.
That is weird, man. Because you have proven to me that you are in the 50 and over crowd, but I just don't buy it. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it at all. I've been
Spiritually, you are not.
Spiritually.
I'm not sure. You got to see my comment in Bros chat yesterday. Which one? Or are you talking about Matthew Jude? Oh, talking about Matthew Jude. I don't know if he was around still then. Why use a brush? Is dipping green paint. Called him alternative army man.
There you go.
Just one of these, just like
You'll do it that
real
way.
gloopy.
Yeah. So I'm just touching up some of the yellow, getting it a couple highlights back. Also because it was a little bit dirty because it had the wash on it, so I kind of wanted
my
to.
only thing I'm thinking is just like my doggo looks a little dirty as
Yeah.
well, and I'm like, do I care?
You can throw some, kind of reapply some stuff onto it just to get it back. So I'm gonna not do a ton of it, but I'm gonna do a little bit of that retouching. Sorry, I'm realizing I'm just painting off screen because I'm great at this.
You're a pro.
Over here, dude. And again, it's just like I'm okay with him looking kind of dirty. He's a robot, you know. He's a worker. He's kind of greasy.
Rover be in the dirt.
But your guy actually. See, I kind of wish they had bases because it'd be cool to make him like a kind of a cool dirt base.
That would be.
What is going on? What do you want?
Quit being weird, computer.
So in 20 minutes, we're going to be switching over to Paula and Matthew. And again, if you weren't here earlier, we do want to let everyone know that we are not going to be painting on GenCon's channel. We're going to be painting for 2 more weeks on GenCon's channel, and that's going to be it. But we are going to be continuing this painting stream over on our channel. So please feel free to give us a follow or just the Brothers Murph here on Twitch. So please feel free to continue to watch us paint over there in like 3 weeks.
I'm not stopping.
Mike's not stopping. He's not stopping.
I keep on stopping. It's unfortunate.
Alrighty, let me I'm trying to think of what to do here because I don't really want to like reapply everything, but I also want to touch up some spots that are kind of splotchy now. So I think what I want to do is like get my base coat back out, but I'm going to thin it down like a lot because I want this to be pretty thin so that it purposely doesn't cover very well. Edge highlight. You can do some edge highlighting. For lefty here, edge highlighting is probably a pretty good idea for a lot of the panels and such.
What's edge highlighting? Remember?
That is you highlighting just the edge. So just the teeny little edge there, and what it does is it's going to make it stand out against the dark wash part even more, and it looks really nice.
Slippy says, now I have ZZ Top, Can't Stop Rockin' stuck in my head, and I'm okay with this.
I'm okay with it.
That's what I think. If you're going to get something stuck in your head, it might as well be a banger. Might as well be something that you love. So let this guy dry for a minute or two, then I'm going to pop him off the base and see if I can't get inside these little feet a little bit. Check out the underbrush on the old pup.
Yeah,
Finish it off, man.
Mary seems to be very back to kind of her old self this morning.
Mary's doing real good. She's just wanting to play around.
She's wanting to fight. I had to break up a fight between those two this morning.
Just tricky. You're like, you had surgery on Monday. You can't fight quite yet.
I know, right?
You need to wait just several more
I
days.
think she can can she go for like a walk, you think?
You go for a short walk to go to
Okay.
the bathroom, basically.
Okay, cool. Yeah. At least she can get out a little bit.
Yeah, nothing crazy. You can basically take her around like the apartment complex a little bit, and then no, take it easy. Just want to take it slow. It's tough because pups want a pup, you know.
Pups want a pup, man.
Pups are like, I'm trying to be a puppy right now. I'm like, I'm trying to make sure you don't bleed out right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure you don't die later.
Those two things are kind of opposed. All right. Crack.
Makes it look more 3D and brightens up what the wash darkened. Yeah, exactly.
Love it. It's super cool.
Yeah, and it's tough because you're like literally painting a very thin line on the edge of like panels and stuff like that, but it does look really nice.
Yeah, right on. Into that.
And if I was spending like a lot of time on this guy, then I would like edge highlight a bunch of stuff, but I'm not. It's the one session jack right here.
It's a one paint jank, man.
One paint jank.
All right. Chase Man says, I have a cat. He is awesome. Your pup is cute. When was she/he fixed? I saw the cone. So she was fixed on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Pippin got fixed before, our other dog, about a month and a half ago. 2 months ago now, rather, because time has sort
Not
of
real.
flown by as it stood still. Isn't it weird? Yeah, so with her, with the females, it's a much bigger thing. It's a bigger operation and stuff, so you just gotta be careful. Gotta take it slow. She's doing super good.
Yeah, she really is.
Recovering just great. Which is lucky, man.
Yeah. She's really doing great.
She's a good pup.
She's a good pup. Alrighty. Yeah, so that reapplication of some of those colors is nice. It's really making this whole thing boop. Make your mouth go pop, 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 pop. But yeah.
Give me like a little blue shoes. Little blue boots.
Now I go through this head wrap here and just kind of highlight the spots that aren't the folds, just to make them stand out a little bit. Also, hopefully smooth this out a little bit, because this one is, painting white in general is difficult and splotchy, and so just trying to get a smooth.
Shades Fence says, when I was maybe 8, a giant Rottweiler ran through a glass window to get to our lady dog. Very important. Yeah, no, you got to take care of that stuff.
Yes. When they in heat, they don't care about nothing.
No, I mean they said like there's a majority of like male dogs get hit by cars is because they're trying to get after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like they don't see anything but that. They don't care about nothing. Like they will bust through like glass windows, like fences. They will just run through there using pure force. It's
Wow, I didn't know
instincts
that.
are a powerful thing.
Yeah, they're like, gotta keep my race alive. Must procreate.
And I'm like, nope.
I'm like, my genes must be passed on. I'm like, sir, your genes are not that cool.
It's the end of the line, pal.
You don't need to pass those on, brother.
Tell you.
Hate to let you know, but your genes aren't really worth passing, sir.
Sorry, man. They did not pass most of. You are a dog.
You are a
You
dog.
are going to be in your clan.
You will spend most of this day licking your butt, sir. You do not need to pass on that particular gene.
And now you're painting his foot.
But paint his foot not the right colour. Oh Lord.
Oh my.
Oh my. I miss the Tower of Terror. I like the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride a lot, but I miss Tower of Terror. I just love the whole aesthetic of it.
It's really fun.
How everyone who worked it was super in character and stuff. It was just it was the funnest part. It was the funnest line to be in. Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah, people were so good on that ride. There's some people that dedicated to their craft. Missy says, saw a fun thread on Twitter today about how people didn't know turtles are their shell. They cannot come out from them. Yeah, I didn't know that as a kid.
Yeah, they're
I learned
connected to
at some
that
point.
shell.
It's like, yeah, like that is their vertebrae is attached to the shell. You can't just be like, I'm gonna get the turtle out from there. It's like, nope, it will die.
It will die.
Not a hermit crab.
Yeah, they're not snails. Just walk around with their house on their back.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, it's like, it's funny because you think, how do you not know that once you know that? But it's just like, well, it's not like turtles gonna tell you about.
We always talk about how turtles go inside their shells, and there's a lot of cartoons that show like turtles like walking around without their
They're,
shells
living
on
in,
and
like, a
stuff.
house, yeah.
It's like no, that's not real. Cartoons aren't real, kiddo.
Yeah. Well, you can tell they're real because you can't paint a hole in a mountain and make it to a tunnel for a train. It's not a thing.
That one is real.
Oh, I'm sorry. That one's real.
All right, so now I touched up his headband, which is good.
Yeah, cartoons and stuff. Yeah, they'll make you think like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. See the amount of stuff I've jumped off of or tried to run through because I saw it on Wile E. Coyote or something like that. Come on.
Nice. Oh, I did a little footsie. Footloose.
All right, got about. We're gonna go a little
Kick
bit
out
late
your
today, by the
foundations.
way, so we can finish up. Which is all right with our counterparts.
Why, man?
I just want like 10 more minutes, so we're gonna go a little bit longer.
Okay, they need some time.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, we're gonna go. It's good because I actually wanted to touch some stuff up anyway.
Those
So.
little boots, I'm gonna
Oh no!
sleep them inverted like that so his little feet can dry. Dry your feet.
Dry your little feet. Dry your feet. Okay.
I keep a falling in and out.
Alrighty, so just still kind of again reapplying stuff, touching stuff up, just getting stuff looking to the point where I'm happy.
Get to that point, Nick. Well, he only turns to the left, lefty. Wow. Lefty streaky.
That's the whole point of Lefty, Mikey.
Yeah, he's like Zoolander, man. But reverse Zoolander.
Merman.
Man!
Said, wait, what cartoons taught me that an anvil can be dropped on the head of a coyote because the head of a roadrunner has an anti-gravity field keeping it from falling.
Well, that's...
That, and there is a small man on Mars who is trying to destroy Earth to get a good view of Venus, which is a fair thing to do, let's be honest.
We are a little in the way.
So what I'm doing here is, again, kind of like edge highlighting these blue parts just to make them stand out from each other a little bit more.
Connor says, I'm blown away at how you can do this much in 2 hours. Nick is like speeding right along. We chose these. I was like, I'm going to do this one because I feel like I can get further than that. I would not be where Nick is, that's for sure. Look at that thing, dude. That looks amazing.
It looks good.
Looks really good.
Yeah, it turned out okay.
I think one area I need to improve is I get a little wild when I'm washing. I just go crazy with the brush. I could probably be a little more...
You soften it up?
Huh?
Are you like softening it up?
Softening it up?
Sopping it up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's mostly what matters. But you do get better at washing, like figuring out what will look good in what spot, figuring out like how much to put. Like that will come more in time and stuff like that. It does. You do legitimately get better about being not quite as wild. But I tend to be a very heavy washer. When I wash, I'm like, I'm just going to wash this entire thing right now. Boom, done. You know.
Yeah. Missy says to Miravac, talking about cartoons and TV shows and how they maybe don't prepare us properly for the world, says, I immediately put the tractor into the ditch the first time I drove it when I was a preteen, basically because TV and cartoons driving constantly were driving there, constantly moving the steering wheel, and I try to do the same.
They do this. I remember the first time I played a car racing game at like an arcade where you're sitting in.
Yeah.
Because I always watched Barney, and Barney drove like this.
Yeah.
So I would
Wheels
drive
on the
like
bus,
this,
go
and my
round and
car,
round.
of course, was doing this. And I was like, what's going on? And you were like, why are you moving the thing? I'm just like, you drive. It's like, no, keep it steady. You see mom driving like this?
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Well, it's true. And like the thing that's funny, the other thing I didn't realize until I started driving was like, you are never, if you're doing this, you are trying to not crash.
Yes.
You're doing
this.
You are going to crash. Yeah, like
doing
the amount,
this.
like you do like a decent curve on a thing. You go from here to here, and you're like,
When
what?
I first started driving, the amount of times I went into a different lane because I was just turning a little bit too harsh.
It's so funny, like how like minute is. Whereas like on TV shows and stuff, they're always just like, well, yeah, I don't know if we're gonna get through this guy. Well, jeez,
See, exactly.
Wow, that's what happens. You know, and like it's so funny, dude. Oh, wow, there we go. You know, they're always like, and like you don't have to sell us so hard on the fact that we're driving a car right now. Like, okay, it's so funny, dude. The wheels on the.
You know what? This doesn't have to do with that, but it's talking about things that are fake, and it drives. You know, my biggest pet peeve in movies and TV shows is.
Let's go.
When someone is holding like a cup of coffee and you can tell it's empty.
I know.
I'm like, we can tell there's no
Just
weight. I'm not saying you would be like
water in there.
You would be weighed down because of the coffee, but I can tell you are moving that too fluidly.
They're always just like, boom, boom, got my coffee, and I'm like,
They
what
got
are you
a
doing?
pizza box. They're just like moving around. I'm like, there's nothing in there. Put a damn pizza in there, or like especially the coffee cup. I'm like, put water in it.
It's got a top on it. You're not gonna see it. Just put some.
So I can tell that there's something in there.
Because
That
actors
drives
aren't
me.
going to, add the weight to it. You know, it's just like, oh yeah, well, you
They're
gotta
not
add some
mimes.
weight to it. You got to think of like, I wouldn't be like this. Well, this is what you got to do. You know, it's like bad stuff's gonna happen. I hate
it drives me crazy, dude.
I hate it.
So I'm
I
gonna do a
hate
little.
that. I hate the fact that no one says bye on a phone.
Yes,
It's
everyone just
always
hangs
just
up on
like,
each other.
do it, click, and I'm like, that's not human
All right,
nature. We're
all
much
right,
more
cool.
polite.
See you at 7. Boom. I'm like, no one ever says bye.
That, and then also getting out of a shower and just immediately wrapping up and walking out while you have 4 gallons of water on you. I'm like, what are you, crazy? It's the least
What are you, a
comfortable thing on earth.
sociopath?
Yeah,
Like,
and I'm I
like-
would not trust someone to do that. I'm walking, I'm like, get out of my house right now.
L-shaped sheets
Yeah,
are
L-shaped
great.
sheets are
L-shaped
classic.
sheets are real great, you know?
Stuff like that. It's like so funny. There's
So
so
funny,
many
dude.
conventions of film and TV that I'm like, this is so weird. But the phone one is like the biggest for me. I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah. Because here's the thing. If someone even accidentally hangs up on me, I get real sad. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, are you kidding me?
I know.
No one ever says bye. And I'm like, you are writers. Can you not see real life and see that people say bye?
It's just funny because now it's like it's a thing. It's the thing. It's what you come to expect. So now it'd be weird if it was like, okay, bye. No, okay, so bye. Byes are awkward.
Yes.
I hate that villains can't use iPhones. They always use a burner still. Yeah. It's so good. It's so funny. Like, all right. You know?
Yeah. I was thinking about the phone one. That is so true, though.
It's so bizarre. It's not even like an okay. They don't say, okay. They don't, there's nothing.
A lot of times the other person goes, they just hang up. And I'm like, what are you?
I want to see a scene where, like, for a second, they're like, hello? Oh, no, they're gone. Okay, well, that was weird. And, like, comment on it. Like, that'd be hilarious.
Why did they say bye? I don't know. They're really
Weird,
rude.
an a-hole, right? The pup on the pup goes boop, 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 boop. Dude, your robot is radical.
So was yours. I love yours.
Yeah. I'm happy with it. Happy with it.
Happy with it, happy with it.
Happy with it. He's front heavy though. He got a big heavy head. He got a big heavy head, man.
I like yours. Yeah, they both came out really good, I think. Especially because again, we're doing these in 2-hour sessions, so we're like, we got one session for this, fam. We got one session, and that's it. So
You're gonna get one shot to not miss a chance to base coat, and then highlight a little bit until you're out of time.
so you gotta leave because another show's gonna be on.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Viscounts of the West Kingdom, yeah.
Pre-order it right now.
Pre-ordering it. Q44 release. I might sneeze, y'all.
Oh, with the announcement, dude.
I will sneeze, y'all. Beep. Pardon me.
Sneeze, sneezing.
Oh,
Thank you, Snackable Games. I appreciate you. Q4 2021. No, 2020. End of this year. End of this year.
That's why it counts.
Why counts? Yeah. Available for Gen Con pickup and a Q4 2020 full release.
Cool.
If you can't get it at Gen Con.
At the yens of all the cons.
At the end of the con. I want to try that real bad.
What?
Viscounts of the West Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
Without knowing anything really about it, I don't know. I haven't looked into it that much. I want it.
Yep.
I know that.
Now, again, are we going east or are we going south next? I feel like he screwed himself because now Shem's got to make all 4 directions.
Oh, God.
He's got to have 3 games per. And then he's got to create a mega game where you play all 12 games.
Yeah.
There's probably going to be a mega... Because I think there's a mega game where you can play all North Sea games together.
Yeah. And I think they're going to do that with West Kingdom, maybe?
Probably.
I don't know how that works, but it's cool. And there's, that's the best joke I've heard all day. Gen Con pickup. Nah. We can hope, though.
We can hope.
Let's hold on to hope. Gen Con 2022. Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing that
Hopefully
sucks.
not, but
That's
yeah.
the thing that sucks is just like...
Possible.
Just not knowing. How do you do that?
Do what?
How do you paint so good?
You paint good.
How do you paint so good? I paint good, but you paint so good. I paint aight.
You paint good.
Paint aight.
Puppy.
What's the benchmark?
So again, just cleaning up some of this light blue. I want to stand out a little
Hello? It's like making rubber creep in. Hey, what's up?
I did.
You go. You gonna watch Gen Con?
You guys, you doing some cool
Watch
stuff?
Matthew Jude and Paula Dumming play some games.
Dude, new Gen Con, like freaking mascot right there, dude. Huh? New Gen Con mascot, little pupper.
Dude, should be. Well. So Missy said, I've heard talk of Essen being canceled. People saying every convention this year should be canceled. There's a high likelihood.
That's a high
man, that,
likelihood.
like,
Yeah. I mean, we don't know, obviously, but it's like...
It all depends on
I think
like
there's a good chance.
what happens and changes that happen, but it's like as we get closer to each event, I understand companies and stuff waiting because you don't know what it's going to be like in a couple months.
Yeah.
But then making that call if things look like it's going to be a while, which it has looked like. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean,
it's like there will
definitely
always,
possible.
for any conventions that have already had to cancel and stuff, it's like there will always be next year or the year after that or however long it takes. Like, life goes on. Going to convention. We were talking about it yesterday. It's like, man, it's a bummer. Like, because we were getting ready to start gearing up to start traveling again.
Yeah.
Like, soon-ish, next month and a half. So now it's all changed. Like, oh, man, I was like kind of looking forward to the summer and stuff. Like, it gets... By the end of it, you're kind of tired and you're ready to like go home for a while. But like, it is really fun to like go see people and explore new places. Like, this was going to be my first Origins and stuff. So stuff like that, it's a bummer, But
it's a mega bummer.
But it's what you got to do, right? We all do our part.
That's
and we get to have all these conventions in the future if we all do our part now. So it's like, that's a fair trade. I'll take that.
Just what it is,
I'll take that.
There's still gonna be stuff going on,
Steve says, I'm assuming I'm a hard pass for Dice Tower West 2021.
It depends on the state of the world. I
Depends. Yeah, that's so far out that I'm like, man, I hope stuff's back to normal. I don't know, but that's one thing. It's like, for me, it's like stuff like that. I'm like, that's so far out. Like, I'm not even thinking about it. Like, I'll decide that much closer.
Yeah.
Because who knows what's going to happen. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Sidewall Game says, even if things get better, it still feels irresponsible. It's going to feel that way for a little while. It's going to feel weird.
Yeah.
It's going to feel like that's the question I always have with it. It's like, when will we start to feel okay being places
That's the
again?
thing, right?
That
it's
might
like,
be a while.
Even if it is safe by like Essen time, like people may still not come because they're like, I don't really want to be around 70,000 people or whatever. Essen's massive, and it's like that's the thing is like it may be tough to even if it is 100% safe.
So the
it's gonna be a tough sell this whole year, regardless. It's just gonna be trying something.
Comrade says, I know Dice Tower East isn't canceled yet, but you even still come. We weren't going to be going anyway.
We weren't going
no,
anyway.
I wouldn't, probably.
And no, I wouldn't either.
Y'all are running long. Yes, Aspen, we know. We're vamping for our
We
our
are.
peeps.
We were
appreciate
asked
you, though.
To do so.
Now's a great time to get into painting. Yes. Painting is good.
It's a great time to get
Painting.
into any hobby, yeah.
Paint all of the games you have. Just take this time, do it all, and then you'll never have to paint again, and your games will look dope. It'll look so solid. Or are you doing like little like highlights in the eyes,
like
little
like kind of little pupils kind of thing,
little like reflection, the light reflection.
Kinda.
That's pretty cool. They are cool to vamp over time. Yeah. No Hard a Shark. Hello.
I know How the Shark.
Been a minute. How you doing?
All right. I think that's pretty good.
Dude, your thing looks amazing. So we, once again, are going to be playing on Monday, this upcoming Monday. We're going to be playing Quirky Circuits again, but we didn't do Rover or Lefty's missions, so we're going to do those. So Rover is a dog that kind of goes and uncovers fossils and things and has the ability to jump up onto ledges and stuff. So certain things that you can either go around or you can jump. And then Lefty is a sushi chef who doesn't actually move around. They don't move themselves around, and they can spin and drop off and pick up sushi, trying to get the right sushi plates to the right cats. And there's like conveyor belts that move sushi around. Sometimes Lefty's on the conveyor belt and moves Lefty around.
Yeah.
Super cool. So both really challenging. So we're going to play that on this Monday next. And play missions with Rover and Lefty. So you can see our cool painted minis in action running around. Thank you so much for joining us today. No Hearts. The Shark says, hanging out while waiting for my online class to start. Rip. Nice. We'll do hang out until that class begins. We're going to be ending in just a moment, but we have another show starting right after us with Paula Deming and Matthew Jude. So
indeed,
hang tight for that. Merrick, thank you for putting that in there. If you want to follow us, you can. We do other shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays on our channel, and then in a couple weeks, so after, not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that will be our final show doing painting on GenCon. Thank you for that follow.
Welcome to Team Ping Pong. You ping pong.
Subrin looks like Subrin.
We messed up.
Sorry about that.
Anyway, if you follow us, we're going to be doing painting streams on Wednesday, same time, over on that channel after a couple more weeks here. So,
I think that's going to be it, fam.
That's going to be it, folks. Stay tuned. Stick right here. Don't go anywhere.
Don't leave!
Matthew, Jude, and Paul Deming are coming up in just a minute or two to play play some games, and hang out with y'all. So thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
Paint some quirky circuits. I'm pretty happy with this, man.
You should be. I love it.
Very cool. I'm just enjoying painting. I'm really getting into it. I really enjoy it.
That's why we're going to continue it on our own
Super
channel.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then remember, thank you for putting in the schedule. There's all those different shows you can see on Gen Con all throughout the week. So we'll see you all on Monday for some Quirky Circuits.